A couple of weeks ago, I was looking through my email and I was scrolling down my inbox, and I just so happened to see a couple of messages from my daughter's school and some from extracurricular activities. And I was a little taken aback because in that moment, I think it hit me, summer break is almost over. And honestly, we haven't done as much as I had anticipated. Maybe I'm the only one. But in an effort to try to make the most out of the remaining weeks, I went on Google and I did a search and looked for something that we could do that weekend. And so when Saturday arrived, we got dressed, and despite a lot of heat and a whole lot of humidity, we attended a local outdoor Caribbean festival. We walked around. There were lots of vendors selling really cool stuff, really good music, and good food. So standing there in that heat, I started to feel hot and thirsty. And so I looked around and I just so happened to see like a food truck, a frozen ice one. And as I walked closer, I saw there was an assortment of flavors, one being sorrel, which is one of my favorite drinks, but it was actually a frozen ice. And so I ordered it with a little bit of guava in it. And I thought the color looked really cool. And so I took a picture of it with my phone. It was delicious. And we went and enjoyed the rest of the day there. But later on, when I looked back at that picture, I started to revisit those feelings that I had when I was there. And I was thinking, I'm so glad that I actually found it and that we went. And it made me start to think about planning things that we want to do. And I thought about how easy it is for me to plan things that I need to do, like going to the grocery store or going to the doctor for an annual visit. I also thought about things that I want to do for the people that I love. So that looks like taking my daughter to a birthday party, right? Or showing up at a work event for my husband. But then there are things that I just want to do. Not necessarily because there's a reason or I can justify it, but just a desire to do something that looks interesting. And I asked myself, how often do I actually plan that? Like, how often do I see something that interests me without needing to have a reason, like it's gonna make me a better mom, or it's gonna make me a better artist, or it's gonna make me a better person, right? But wanting to go simply because it looks interesting or it looks fun. And honestly, I realized my answer was not consistently, like I don't do that enough. I started to think about the steps, right? I feel like there's like 3 steps to planning an event and actually being there and enjoying it. First, there's finding it, like actually finding something that you want to do. And then there's scheduling it or penciling it in to prioritize it, just like we would do for people that we love. And then there's honoring the commitment. So when the day actually shows up, despite the weather or despite other factors outside of my control, I still honor my commitment and show up and go. And I thought about how easily I can do that for things I need to do or things I want to do for people that I love, but how I could possibly do better when it comes to doing those 3 steps, when it comes to doing something that I just simply want to do for myself, for my enjoyment. And that's what that picture did for me. When I looked back at that picture and I remembered what it felt like, I was reminded of the importance of prioritizing my enjoyment, but also following through to actually make time to do it. Not because I need to justify my joy, but just because it's something that my heart desires. And I made a little promise to myself in that moment that the next time that I see something, I won't procrastinate like I sometimes do and say, I'll get to that later, or I'm sure there'll be something else I'll want to do. So, I'll check it out later. Like, no, I'm going to stop and I'm going to prioritize it. I'm going to put it on my calendar and honor my commitment and actually follow through when the day arises. Thank you for spending time in the studio. I'm Tiara, and I'll see you next time.